Hey guys, how's it going? MasterBucks here, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Euro 2020, or 2021, depending on how you want to look at it. It's Euro prediction time, ladies and gentlemen. Today, we're going to be going through every single group in the Euros, and we're going to be placing every single team in every group from 1 to 4. From there, we'll be picking who wins in the round of 16, the quarterfinals, the semi-finals, and of course, the final itself, to determine who will win the Euros this year. And I will have you know, ladies and gentlemen, that I have watched every game of football that has ever been played. They call me the prediction god for a reason, okay? Now, if you'll excuse me, it is time for an Australian with a South American in the background to tell you all about Europe's finest. Okay, it is time to predict Euro 2021, and it starts now. Having a look at Group A, we have got Switzerland, Turkey, Wales, and Italy. Switzerland do have some tidy players in their team, you know, like, let's see, Granit Xhaka, Breel Donald Mbolo. They've got Shaqiri, even though he hasn't played all that often. Switzerland also are very good at getting out of group stages. They're not good at actually winning games in major tournaments, but every major tournament that they have been in the last couple of years, they've been able to get out the group of. Turkey have played some really big nations and have actually come out unscathed. Teams like France, Croatia, I think Netherlands and Germany. So I think they're going to be a tough team. Again, good players on their team. I think what stands out to me is maybe their centre-back partnership of, Demiral from Juventus and Soyuncu. I never know how to say his name. And obviously we have to give some respect to Yilmaz, the guy that was one of the driving forces behind Lille beating PSG to the Ligue 1 trophy. Wales, on the other hand, I don't really know how Wales are going to go this time around. Obviously had a brilliant Euro campaign last time, but I'm not too sure when, you know, their standout players don't seem so standout anymore. I mean, Ampadu, Hal Robson-Kanu has, you know, actually had a pretty good finish to his season, but albeit with a relegated West Brom. And Gareth Bale, the highest goal scorer per minute in the Premier League this season. I'm not sure if it's going to be enough. And Italy, some people talk about Italy like they could be dark horses. I think we just need to put more respect on Italy as a whole. I know that they've gone undefeated for 20 to 25 games as a nation. It's ridiculous. Italy play every single one of their group games at home as well, so I think they're definitely going to get out and could shock some people in this tournament. I'm going to go with Italy in first place, Switzerland in second, Turkey in third, and Wales in fourth. Sorry, Wales. Now for Group B, we have got the last World Cup host Russia, Belgium, the #1 team FIFA ranked in the world. We've got Denmark, and we've got Finland, who have qualified for their first ever major tournament. Russia had a really good campaign in the World Cup, took a lot of people by surprise, but I don't know if they're going to be as good in this major competition. And obviously they also have not the greatest track record in the Euros either. Still got some tidy players in the team, Djouba, Cheryshev, they come to mind as well. But Belgium, though, the #1 team in the world ranked, I seriously just wonder, when are Belgium finally going to do it? They've got such a great team. We talk about their golden era. I'm sure they'll have a great team for the future for a long, long time. But I mean, right now, surely they've got to eventually win a major tournament. Could this be the moment? Denmark, I'm not quite sure exactly how they're going to go in the Euros either, but I don't know. I think they do play all 3 games at home in the group stage, so that'll be a decent little bit for them. I mean, obviously Kasper Schmeichel, handful of other decent players like Eriksson, who, yes, may be slowing down a bit, but still. And Finland, like I mentioned before, you know, outside of Timo Pukki and Hiradeki, I'm not too sure about too many others of their players in their team, and I don't know. First major tournament, great for them, but I'm not sure if I'm expecting much. I'm going to go with Belgium first, Denmark in second, Russia in third, and then Finland to finish in fourth. Now for Group C, we have Austria, North Macedonia, Ukraine, and the Netherlands. Austria might potentially go over a few people's heads, but again, remember, Marko Arnautovic, David Alaba, who's recently gone to Real Madrid, as well as other players like Baumgartlinger, and just a handful of players that maybe you might not remember. Austria do have a bit of a tough run when it comes to big competitions. As a matter of fact, I don't think they've actually won a game at a major tournament for 3 decades. North Macedonia obviously getting through via the playoffs, but it'll be tough if they manage to get out of the group. That would be absolutely ridiculous. You know, you've got Elmas, Pandev, and really it's a bit of a struggle to name too many others after that. Ukraine could actually be maybe an alright team this year as well. I mean, Andrei Shevchenko, their greatest footballer ever, is their coach, so maybe he could inspire them to do something cool. They've got Yarmolenko, Sagankov is a young up-and-comer. Maybe something could be done there. And as for the Netherlands, well, I'm just happy to have them back in a major tournament because they weren't in Euro 2016. They didn't even make the World Cup. It was, mate, it's been tough to be a Dutch fan for a while, but now you're back. We don't need to go on about their squad, how great they are. Van Dijk will not be playing. That's a big miss for them, but they got so many others. Another Liverpool man, by the way, Jorginho Wijnaldum. I know he's more of a defensive ball carrier type player for Liverpool, but he scores goals whenever he plays for the Netherlands. So I just keep your eye on him. He might bag just a handful. I'm gonna go Netherlands in first place, Austria in second place, Ukraine in third, and then North Macedonia sadly in fourth. In Group D, we have got Scotland, England, Croatia, and the Czech Republic. Scotland finally qualifying for a major tournament for the first time in a very long time as well. And of course, they're going to be drawn in the same group as England, which I can't wait for. That'll be a great game. It's kind of like when England played Wales, and I don't know if they won that game or if they only managed the draw, but like that was one of the best games of the Euros last year. So England and Scotland, oh, that's another level. England obviously are going to be, and rightfully so, one of the favorites for this tournament. You know, will Southgate finally bring football home like he was unable to do at the World Cup? Obviously, England's talent is so great and their depth is so unbelievable that Gareth Southgate is getting roasted for, you know, basically having too many good players that he's going to have to snub some people and he's going to cop it no matter what he does. So that's a pretty good problem to have. Croatia, obviously the finalists of the World Cup last year, just going down to France. And obviously Croatia have proven to be a bit of a thorn in the side of England as well. So England have got some personal games in this group, Scotland and Croatia. And then you've just kind of got the Czech Republic chilling in this group. You know, it's like all these other games are going to be big ones. And then Czech Republic, I mean, an okay team like Souček I'm thinking of, and Dorita. And they do typically make Euro finals, Czech Republic. I think they've made like 7 in a row. Don't know how many times they've gotten out of the group, and I'm not sure if they'll get out of the group on this occasion. But after considering it, I just have to go with England in first, Croatia second, Czech Republic in third, and I would have liked to have put Scotland in fourth, but I just don't think I've seen enough to warrant putting them in third place. I mean, I feel pretty confident about that top two at least anyway. Group E, we have Poland, Spain, Sweden, and Slovakia. Poland currently feature the best goal scorer on the planet right now in Robert Lewandowski, the best striker in the world. We will see whether or not he will be able to do his trade for Poland in a team that maybe is not as strong as Bayern Munich. Spain obviously coming into the Euros with, for the first time ever, not a single Real Madrid player selected, which was obviously mad. A former Barcelona manager not picking a single Real Madrid player. With Sergio Ramos not going there, a handful of other players not going is questionable, but somewhat understandable. But the fact that there's not at least one. Aymeric Laporte changing nations as well. Very intrigued to see how he is going to go. This is what I imagine Aymeric Laporte turning up to his first Spain training session would have been like.
Yeah.
Sweden obviously not coming to the Euros with Zlatan Ibrahimovic, but they do have Alexander Isak. Now, I'm not sure if he's going to bring the same sort of presence and intimidation as a guy like Zlatan, but Isak did have himself a pretty good season in La Liga. As a matter of fact, he actually beat Zlatan Ibrahimovic's record of goals for that season. And well, as for Slovakia, you know, they were the team that took out Northern Ireland from getting to the Euros, and apart from Hamsik, I gotta say, I really don't know a super amount more of this team. It's going to be Spain first, Poland in second, Sweden in third, Slovakia are going to finish in fourth. And as for the final group, for the first time ever, we have a legit group of death in a major tournament. It's Portugal, France, Germany, and Hungary. Portugal, I think, are one of the favorites to win this competition. They have arguably one of the best national teams in the world right now, obviously featuring Cristiano Ronaldo, but then there are just too many other great players as well, like obviously Bruno Fernandes. Ruben Diaz has had an amazing season with Manchester City, and for the level that he's played at, if he ends up winning the Euros, then I think there's a possible shout of a Ballon d'Or for Ruben Diaz, especially if he wins the Champions League. France, the current world champions. Again, we talked about England's ridiculous amount of depth. The same can be said for France as well. Their second team and almost even third team could wipe the floor with most decent national sides. Benzema coming back for France is going to be intriguing, so we're going to have to see how he goes after he had a brilliant season with Real Madrid. Couldn't win a trophy. Maybe he can get something here with France. France have also made their 13th straight major tournament, so we're really surprised by that as well. We talk about 13 consecutive majors for France. How about 26 For Germany, unfortunately, as of late, their major tournaments haven't really been going all that great, especially the World Cup, where they didn't even make it out of the group. Joachim Low, I believe this is going to be his last major tournament as the German coach, so we'll see if they turn up for him. And as for Germany, it's going to be interesting because they're going to go into this tournament with a mix of very talented veterans and then some very promising high up-and-coming young players as well. Hungary too, I feel so bad for these guys, man. Jesus Christ, they have had a stinky amount of luck getting drawn into this group. But Hungary did actually get a 3-3 draw against Portugal in the last Euros and really pissed the hell out of Cristiano Ronaldo. Maybe they might be able to do something. Maybe Dominik Szoboszlai, who really was the hero for Hungary in getting them to this tournament, might be able to pull something amazing out. But let's be real, no they're not. I'm going with Portugal top, France in second place, we got Germany in third, and then Hungary in fourth place. And that is every single one of the groups of the Euros done. Now, because the Euros are a little more complicated and it's a bit annoying, basically how it works is 4 of the 6 teams that come in third in their groups will advance to the knockout phase. So I'm going with Turkey, Russia, Sweden, and Germany as the 4 of the 6 that will make it through. And this is so difficult to call, man, because not only do we need all 6 of these teams to finish exactly in third place, but then goal difference and how many points they get, that's going to swing things. It's so tough. So after all that, here is the round of 16 then. The first game will be Belgium versus Sweden. Now, some of these I might breeze through, try not to be disrespectful, but I do want to get moving. I would be very, very surprised if Belgium did not get past Sweden if this draw were to happen. So I'm going to select Belgium to make it through. Next game is Italy versus Austria. Now, again, I said Italy would be a decent team in this Euro, and again, Austria, I'm not sure if they're going to have enough to get past Italy. So, Italy, for me, will be getting through in that contest to the quarterfinal. Now we move on to Portugal versus Turkey. Now, Portugal and, like I said, Turkey have... Turkey have been quite difficult to play against for some of the top nations, and they have been quite sturdy. Like I mentioned, Turkey have, been undefeated in a lot of big games against big nations. But I feel like against Portugal in the Euros, in the finals, round of 16, and even with this thing going to extra time and penalties, I reckon, I don't know. If this game were to happen, I'd maybe give Turkey a shot of taking it to extra time, but I think Portugal would walk away with this thing. So Portugal will be the ones that make it through the quarterfinals. Next up is Croatia and Poland. Now, this is probably the most difficult that I have to pick so far. I just think Croatia is, experience and talent is probably going to overcome Poland here, so I'm going to go with Croatia. Spain versus Russia. Oh, how about this? The fact that Russia dumped Spain out of the World Cup, and now they're going to get to replay each other in the Euros, so a chance at revenge here for Spain. Will they do it again, I wonder? Russia were playing at home, they had the crowd behind them, and they went to penalties, but I think this time, Spain get their revenge. Spain are going to make it through to the next round and get their revenge against Russia. Oh my God, how about this next one? It's England versus France in the round of 16. God, now this is a tough one. This is a doozy. France, the World Cup winners. England, like we were literally talking about how these two teams have probably got the most depth out of any other nation, and yet they're playing each other straight away in the knockouts. France are going to be seriously, seriously tough, but I think England have got so many great players that are just in such fine form. If we're just forgetting depth, talking about starting 11. Oh, hell, man. I'd probably say France's strongest starting 11 is better than England's strongest starting 11, but oh my God. Oh, come on. It's time for a big balls decision. What do I think? I'm going to do it. I'm giving it to England. I think England's going to make it through if that contest were to happen. Whoa, that's a seriously tough call. Man, honestly, if I'm wrong, then so be it. But I'm saying England. Netherlands versus Germany. Man, the games don't get any easier, do they? Wow. I don't know why. I weirdly think that the Netherlands, even though their team on paper maybe wouldn't be anywhere near as good as the Germans, could give them a real challenge. And I think the Netherlands would actually maybe on I'd say 5%, I'd say 50% of the time the Netherlands would win this game and 50% of the time Germany would win. So that makes picking a winner here very difficult. But I'm going to give this one to Germany, only just. Now, seriously, the Netherlands I think could very well win that game. But I just in here, I'm saying Germany. And the final one is Switzerland versus Denmark. A bit of an easier, or a bit of a, it's not exactly a major clash of the titans compared to some of the other nations in here, but still a tough one to call. I'll give this one to Denmark. So Denmark to make it through the quarterfinals. So now taking it to the quarterfinals now. Belgium versus Italy. Let me tell you, we got some big games coming up. Belgium, the #1 team in the world. Italy, a team that I said seriously could be quite decent, have been on an unbelievable run as of late. Italy, with the amount of games that they have been undefeated in 2025 or so, like I mentioned. But Belgium, their team on paper, their stars, God, what do you do? Do you give it to the team with the best players overall, or do you give it to the team that seems like the most that's got the most backing? They're the more cohesive, I think, is the safest way to put it. Belgium got knocked out of the quarterfinals last time out in the World Cup. I surely they couldn't do it again. I'm saying Belgium. Italy, if they make it to the quarterfinals, I think again Italy could very well win that game, but just not for me. Belgium have got to finally really get deep into a competition, a major competition at some point. This has got to be the time. Portugal versus Croatia in the other quarterfinal to take on Belgium in the semis. And again, Croatia made it all the way to the final of the World Cup. Portugal only got knocked out in the round of 16, yet I think we all know Portugal on paper have got to be the favourites. And I think I'm probably going to give it to Portugal there. So that'd be a Belgium-Portugal semi. Fui. Spain versus England. And I tell you what, I think, honestly, if England, if I'm backing them to beat France, then I would be shocked if they couldn't beat Spain. However, with that said, I feel like when Spain and England play, Spain do typically get the better of England. So this actually might be a little bit tougher to call. Granted, they probably haven't played each other for probably oh man, now that I'm thinking about it, probably for a couple of years. Yeah, I'm probably going to have to give this one to, giving that one to England as well. England are going to make it to another semi-final of another major footballing competition. And their opponents are either going to be Germany or Denmark. Now, don't get me wrong. Would love England and Germany semi-finals. That'd be a great contest. But England have had a track record of getting, or at least not a track record, but at least at the last World Cup, they had a magical, ridiculously not easy, but like a very fortuitous run to get to the semi-final to have Croatia. But they've had to do it tough now. France and Spain and potentially Germany. Germany for me to get through into that one. Oh my God, we have 4. Belgium versus Portugal. 2 teams that absolutely, definitely could win the Euro 2020. Belgium, the #1 ranked team in the world. Portugal, obviously, Cristiano Ronaldo. I mean, I keep bringing up Cristiano Ronaldo, obviously, because, whenever you think Portugal, that's who you think of. But we have got to, even if you take Ronaldo out of the equation, the team is ridiculous. So many threats, so many great players in fine form. Ruben Dias, Bruno Fernandes, João Cancelo, and too many others. I mean, Diogo Jota. And it's the same for Belgium. Lukaku's in the form of his life. Obviously, De Bruyne and too many others. I mean, Hazard's struggled, obviously, at Real Madrid, but he typically rocks up for Belgium. So, Christ almighty, this might be my most difficult pick. Portugal to make the Euro final in back-to-back Euros. They knock out Belgium. And trust me, I'm the one that's like, Belgium have surely got to eventually at least get to the final of a major competition. I still would give this to Portugal. And then there was England versus Germany. Oh, wow. What a contest. Who is going to take on Portugal in the final? Now, England's record typically against Germany is not that great. Again, probably wouldn't have played each other for a very long time. But, oh man, again, I would have to say, if you're taking depth out of it, if you're just looking at starting 11, whose team is better, that would actually start this semi, I think they're still fairly even. I've got to be honest with you. Gundogan, Kimmich, Kroos, Gnabry. I mean, geez, man. It's Timo Werner probably to get a chance in the 89th minute, score it, bury it, but it's wildly offside. Then you've got Kane, Foden, Mount, Rashford. Oh my God. It's too tough. It's too tricky to call. But I'm gonna say they're gonna go one step further. England, if you beat France and Spain, you're clearly battle tested versus Germany beating Switzerland and Denmark. I'll give you that as well. England to make the final. There you have it then, people. There's your final. Portugal versus England. Who do you give it to? Oh my God. I would not be complaining at all if this was the final that we get in this major competition. Gotta keep in mind too here that this would be played at Wembley Stadium, so this would be England playing for their first trophy in like 60 years in Wembley Stadium with 90,000 people in it, and you know the majority of them would be cheering on England. I'd probably say that would be one hell of a vibe. That'd be a big atmosphere, and it'd be very intimidating and tough for Portugal. As an Australian, don't get me wrong, I'm trying to go about these predictions as unbiasedly as possible. Clearly, I would love nothing more than for England sport to just crumple and die. But that's just the rivalry speaking. I honestly wouldn't mind being alive at least once to see England win a major tournament, specifically a World Cup, because that's obviously the biggest one, but just once, so long as Australia then immediately wins the World Cup the 4 years after. But I just wonder what the vibes would be like if England was to win. Portugal, though, on the other hand, I think, again, it just simply comes down to this for me, starting 11 v starting 11. If Cristiano Ronaldo, too, by the way, had a very decent tournament leading up to this point, which I'm not super sure if he would or not. I mean, the guy is getting benched for Juventus, struggling to get into the Champions League. I mean, in the end that they managed it, but it's like, I don't know. I don't know if that's just Pirlo or if there's something else going on, but it seems a bit tough for Ronaldo as of late. But if he was to have a banging tournament and especially do bits in the final and win it, I think we're talking about GOAT status wrapped up. And this is a guy with a Lionel Messi painting in his background. I mean, seriously. I mean, Messi, I think, is always going to be the better footballer, but if we're just talking about a career, I think it becomes pretty damn, like, unbeatable at that point. But will they do it, or will England finally get their win? Oh man, it's decision time, baby. It's decision time. Ladies and gentlemen, I think I know who I'm gonna go with. I am predicting that the winner of the 2020 Euros will be... It's going to be Portugal. I just think Portugal's best players top that of England's best players. I think we are just talking about a team that is just going to edge England in a final, and I'm saying that they're going to do this in a packed Wembley Stadium as well, all right? That would be so impressive if they were to do. I'm sure if every single pick went perfectly, that the atmosphere of the final itself, and what an atmosphere it's going to be, by the way, if England were to make it at Wembley and Portugal too, then that would just be unbelievable. And that would definitely give England a massive edge, especially with footballers not being used to playing against, you know, just gigantic amount of fans cheering for the opposite team. I'm sure that would have an effect on them. But I still think somehow at the end of the day, Portugal would pull it off. I don't know why, but I just feel it. I know if we're just talking about a completely neutral game, barely any fans in the stadium as per Portugal, I'd pick them over England, you know, 7 or 8 times out of 10. But just because of that atmosphere, you'd have to lean it toward England. I'm still going to go for Portugal. That is my big balls pick, and I am going for Portugal to win the Euro 2020. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it. It's time now for you to tell me, 1, what you think of my prediction. Do you think I'm correct? Will Portugal win the Euros? Do you think England could make it? Or do you think maybe a team that I knocked out way back in the round of 16 or quarterfinals could do it? Like, hell, I knocked France out in the round of 16. That's how tough it was, these predictions. Let me know who you think is going to win. And yeah, that will do it for this one, lads. I can't wait for the Euros. I personally love international football when the major tournaments come around and when World Cup qualification comes around, lads. This is it. This is the time. Can't wait for it. Lads, of course, do not forget to like and especially subscribe if you are indeed new here, because we got so much more content coming up with the Euros, more predictions, more FIFA, more everything that I'm sure you will all love. I'm done rambling. Thank you all for watching. My name's MasterBucks. Catch you next time, and bye-bye.